How's it going out there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out this past Friday, June 15th, and is a sequel 9 years in the making, so we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, dab and check out my other social media platforms such as X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Patreon, all the great places. Pretty much post regularly there, so definitely check those out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we'll be doing a movie review of a new film that just came out this past Friday. It is a sequel to a film that came out in 2015, 9 years in the making, called Inside Out 2. Yeah. Inside Out 2. Yeah. So this sequel, 9 years in the making, like I said, is the official sequel to Inside Out 1. And is a really well done film, you know, with how bad Pixar has been the last few years, you know, with really, you know, not very spectacular types of films, not at the high caliber of like films like WALL-E or, you know, Up, Toy Stories, stuff like that. Like really, Toy Story 4 is probably one of the last really great Pixar films in a long time. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, they've had kind of a slump. And going into this, I wasn't too sure how I was going to feel about it. If it was going to be at that same caliber, if it was going to be like the rest of the mess has been for the last few years. And surprisingly, I was really pleased with this film. And thankfully, it really was back to that caliber of Pixar again. It actually was shocking to see Pixar make a Pixar film again, which I was really impressed with. Now, this film has to be directed none other by a gentleman that is doing this in his directorial debut. He hasn't directed anything else, but he has been a part of the Disney family for a few years now. And that, of course, is the director known as Mr. Kelsey Mann. Oh, yeah, Kelsey Mann. Woo, Kelsey Mann. Woo. So Kelsey Mann, like I said, this is his directorial debut. He was a part of the first Inside Out film. He was a storyboard artist mostly. He's done a few other films over the years for Disney and so forth, that he's been storyboard artist, writer, producer, all that kind of cool stuff. But this is actually the first film he's actually ever directed. And with what he did with this film, he really gave us the same vibe as Pete Docter gave us with the very first film. He had that same elemental feel. He had that same concept, the whole construct, and everything that made Inside Out 1 really well. And I enjoyed what Kelsey did with this film. He gave us a really solid actual sequel, which is actually supposed to take place only a year after the first film actually came out. Or the age that Riley's supposed to be in the last film. And one thing I really enjoyed about what Kelsey brought to this is that he made sure that all the characters were all absolutely the same, except for the newcomers that came in that gave us this all new emotions and stuff like that. And he did a good job of, you know, presenting us the same type of story, but giving it different twists and turns and all this kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed, you know, this being his directorial debut, how great of a job he brought to this film and gave us a really solid, finally, a Pixar feeling film again. And I really enjoyed that. He gave us this great story, this great thought process, and just gave us this really solid sequel that really was not waiting 9 years for the sequel worth it. Because it just overall was just so well done. And Kelsey did such a great job of giving us, you know, a great direction of the music and the colors, the palettes, the cinematography, all those things, at giving us a really great view and new view of, you know, Riley's mind as well. And I really enjoyed that the, you know, embellished on that and, you know, added to that what we've already seen of, you know, Riley's mind and expanding it and giving us more of a view of what else was inside Riley's mind. And I liked what Kelsey brought to that and gave us a really solid story that just was a really enjoyable film. If you haven't seen anything Kelsey Mann has directed, definitely check out Inside Out 2 in theaters now. He did a really great job with it. So this movie has a really great cast. That's a lot of returning people from the first film, along with a few newcomers for new emotions and just different characters that are in the film. And it's just a great joy to have a lot of those great main players back. They all did a fantastic job, and they all worked really well throughout the film. We had some newcomers like Paul Walter Hauser was great. You had, basically all these great characters that just were super hilarious, that really just brought even more fun to the film, and giving us these other emotions that are just really interesting and give you a great perspective into what it could be like as a teenage girl or teenage boy or an adult or man or woman or whatever like that, and just like how these emotions change through age and how we all change as we age and stuff like that. And I love that all these voiceovers did such a great job of bringing that to life and giving us these really solid performances that made it super entertaining and fun. Now, to start us off is none other than Joy herself, Miss Amy Poehler. Oh yeah, Amy Poehler, woo, Amy Poehler, yeah! Amy Poehler is such an awesome actress. We all recognize her from, of course, Parks and Rec. Recognize her from all kinds of bit pieces she's been in, The House and so forth and stuff like that. And just a really great comedian. She was on SNL for several years, and just always fun to listen to, always fun to watch, and all that kind of stuff. And Amy's just a really great comedian that is just super funny and always just brings the great comedy elements. And I love what she brings to Joy. I love that she gives her that very, like familiar type of response. She's very, motherly, but at the same time, she's always kind of like the leader and is always taking charge and stuff like that. And that, out of all the different emotions, she definitely has the greatest concept to feel on what to do and how to make everything work co-aesthetically. And I love what Amy brought to that and what she brings to Joy and how she just really emphasizes and makes Joy such a wonderful and engaging and fun character to watch. And once again, Amy brought that to Joy again. Even 9 years later, you still felt like Joy, you just met Joy yesterday, and that she is still this great character that was super enjoyable and really well thought out. Now, if you haven't seen Amy Poehler or anything else, you should definitely check out a great film she did a few years back with Tina Fey. And they play sisters in the film, and she's just absolutely awesome in this film. And the film, of course, is called Sisters. Yeah, Sisters. Yeah, Amy Poehler is so freaking awesome in this film. I love her as a character. She kind of takes on that same role as Joy, where she's kind of like takes charge and is the motherly one and stuff like that. And she just does such a great job of playing that type of character, and it's super funny. And I think Amy just did a great job in the Sisters film playing Tina Fey's sister, and also just all the different kind of crazy shenanigans that get into the film. I mean, this film is absolutely hilarious. It has a huge cast of great actors and actresses. It's got James Brolin in it. It's got Diane Wiest. It has Ike Barinholtz, John Leguizamo. I mean, a huge cast. And Amy was just freaking hilarious. There's some great scenes with her and Ike Barinholtz that are on point and super funny. And then there's just a lot of great scenes between her and her parents and her sister and all this kind of stuff that just, Amy really brought to life and gave us this really great performance that was super funny. At the same time, you felt for her and you understand where she was coming from. And Amy did such a great job of bringing that to life in her performance. If you haven't seen Amy Poehler or anything, definitely check her out in the film Sisters. She was absolutely fantastic in that. And just like I said, I just think she did a really fantastic job as Joy again. I really enjoyed her, and I think she just did a really fantastic job in the film, and it just was super done well. If you haven't seen Amy Poehler recently, go check her out in Inside Out 2. She was absolutely fantastic as Joy again. So that brings me to the next actress I like to talk about that provided a voice in this film. And that is none other than a newcomer to the film, a new emotion, who plays anxiety in the film. And that happens to be the actress known as Miss Maya Hawke. Oh yeah, Maya Hawke, woo, Maya Hawke, yeah, Maya Hawke. I mean, not only is your mother the super hot Uma Thurman, but your father is the awesome Ethan Hawke. I mean, what better combination of actor and actress can you get at bringing, a child into the world than Maya Hawke? Now, Maya Hawke, you might recognize, of course, from the Stranger Things recently. You might recognize her from a few things over the years. And she is just becoming a really awesome actress, and I really enjoy her. And I think that she has a great quality about her that has a great influence from both of her parents. And I think that she brought that talent to voicing anxiety. I really enjoyed what she brought to anxiety. I love the sound of her voice. I thought it sounded really good. I thought she worked really well. And I really enjoyed what she brought to life with anxiety, and how anxiety, is such a character that, being anxiety itself, you would be this crazy, out of this world kind of person. And I just really enjoyed what Maya did with the character, and how she really brought it to life, and definitely differentiated itself from all the other emotions and characters in the film. And I just really liked what Maya did with the role, and I thought she did a really fantastic job. That was super enjoyable, and even though you kind of hate anxiety throughout the film because of what she's doing to Riley, but at the same time, you understand why anxiety's doing it. And I think Maya did a great job of giving us a great voiceover work, of bringing that to life and giving us a really complex and really well-created character. And I just really enjoyed it. Now, if you haven't seen Maya Hawke or anything, definitely a movie to check her out, and she was actually pretty decent in. It was a great film that came out a few years ago that is made by Quentin Tarantino, called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. So she plays one of the girls that's kind of like a groupie of course, the late great, or not great, but the late Charles Manson. That was, one of the persons responsible for the killing of Sharon Tate, unfortunately. And, she really, Charles Manson really was this crazy guy. And even though he wasn't in the film very much, the presence of those women that were like followers of hers was really well played out. And Maya plays one of those characters that was just really, really well done. I really enjoyed what she brought to it. I liked how she played like this very sucked in and very, confused and manipulated person. And I really enjoyed what Maya brought to that character, and gave us this really solid performance that just was super enjoyable. And overall, I think that, if you were really a person that was a follower of Charles Manson, I really feel that's how they were. And I think Maya did a great job of portraying, a pretty, true type of character or true person that what they would be like. And that was exactly how I felt she played it off, and I think she did a fantastic job giving us this really authentic feel and a really well done performance. If you haven't seen Maya Hawke anything, definitely check out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She did a really fantastic job. But overall, I really enjoyed her addition to the Inside Out 2 film. I really enjoyed the new character Anxiety, and I love what she brought to it. And I just think that Maya has a really great future, and this film and this voiceover was, I think, a really great start in that direction of just becoming a really fantastic actress that you're going to love years from now. Maya did a great job. If you haven't seen Maya in anything recently, go check her out in Inside Out 2 as Anxiety. She did a phenomenal job. So that brings me to the final actor I'd like to talk about that provided a voice for this film. And this is also another newcomer that's taken over for the great Bill Hader in this film. And that, of course, is Mr. Tony Hale. Oh yeah, Tony Hale, woo, Tony Hale, yeah. Oh my God, Tony Hale is such a great comedian. From his performance in Arrested Development as Buster to, his little short part in the film The Heat, in Larry the Cable Guy's Health Inspector. Tony Hale is a great comedian that is just super enjoyable and always fantastic in any role he does, and I absolutely just love him. I think he's such a great character. And now, this isn't his first time lending his voice to a character. He did a voiceover for Toy Story 4 as Forky, and he's done it in a few other things too, but I think he's got a really great talent for doing voiceovers for characters. And his voice is just so great and fun and super enjoyable, and it just was a great pleasure to have him in this film. Now, even though Bill Hader didn't come back to portray Fear again, I thought Tony Hale did a great job of bringing Fear to life, giving us that it still felt authentic fear, and it definitely didn't feel impeded on, Bill Hader's voiceover in the first film. And I think that Tony Hale did a great job of, pretty much mimicking exactly what Bill Hader brought to the first film, and just did a really great job and emphasized on it and gave us a really fun voiceover performance. And I just really enjoyed what he also brought, gave Peter a few other different little qualities that we hadn't seen in the first film. And I love what Tony brought to that and gave us these really great new little quirks that helped make Peter even a more interesting character. And I love what Tony did with that. Now, if you haven't seen Tony in anything, you should definitely check out a great film that is a kid family film, actually, that was super freaking hilarious. And his character was absolutely dynamite in this film. And that, of course, is the film called Alvin the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. Yeah! Alvin the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. Yeah! So the fourth film in the Alvin the Chipmunks live-action series, he plays this, U.S. Marshal type of guy. And he is absolutely freaking hilarious. He has some of the greatest one-liners in this film, and it was just a really great kind of semi-bad guy to the film. And Tony was just absolutely on point with his character, and you absolutely enjoyed everything he brought to the character, and you liked him, you hated him, you thought he was super funny, you were sad for him, and all this kind of stuff. And just what he brought to the character was so well developed and funny, and just really well scripted out, that he brought to life so amazingly. Absolutely loved him in this film. He was super awesome, and I think one of his best films to date. If you haven't seen Tony Hale or anything, definitely check him out in Alvin Chipmunks 4. He was really superb in it. But overall, I really enjoyed his take on fear. He did a great job. I absolutely loved it, and I enjoyed everything he brought to the character, and he just was a really great addition to this film. And, it's sad that Bill Hader didn't come back, but I'm very happy with what Tony Hale did with the character, and I think he did a really fantastic job. If you haven't seen Tony Hale or anything recently, check him out in Inside Out 2 now. He was really fantastic. So what is Inside 2 about? Basically, the premise of the story is Riley is now 13, and now as a teenager, she's hit puberty, and new emotions have come into play because she's officially now a teenager. And basically, the movie's about her dealing with these new emotions, trying to, stay true to herself, but at the same time, she's got to deal with these new emotions, and the emotions themselves have to deal with the new emotions and try to figure out a way to work, together and to keep Riley happy and to, come together and be a one unit, basically. And it's just a wonderful story, really well done. It was so well made. It was great to see a Pixar film again, be a Pixar film. It had the exact same vibes and feels as the first one. It was funny, it was hilarious, had great moments, laugh out loud moments, really great sad moments, all that kind of good stuff that felt like a Pixar Disney film. Some of the best parts in the film are so freaking hilarious. There's a scene where the old emotions get bottled up and they get put into this locked thing, and they come across old things that have been locked away in Riley's mind, and one of them happens to be this 90s or almost 90s, early 2000 vibe kind of character that you'd see on the Disney Channel. That was absolutely freaking hilarious. You had a 90s type video game stuck in there that was absolutely hilarious. And then, of course, your worst fear, which happened to be just a worried about burning a hole in the carpet type of deal, was absolutely hilarious. And it just was so many great scenes throughout this film. The scene where it shows the boy crushes was absolutely hilarious. The whole scene where Anxiety's trying to get them to come up with ideas to help Riley be a better hockey player was absolutely funny, as Joy starts to make all the people be joyous more instead of being evil. And it just is so well, amazingly directed, written, produced. Everything about this was a true Pixar film again, and it felt great to see something this good. I can't emphasize that enough. It just was really well done again, and I think this is a fantastic sequel. And absolutely, it was so good to see something good again and normal again, in my opinion, that felt like an actual great movie again. Highly recommend you go check this out in theaters now. Really fantastic done. Can't wait to add to the collection. It was so good. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. It was just as good as the first one, and is just a really great addition to the Pixar's library finally, and to see something good again. If you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend go check it out in theaters now. Worth a watch. Such a great film. Check it out. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if you've been here before, or you haven't been before, don't forget to check out the older new videos you might not see mine yet. As always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, please check out my awesome Patreon page, where you get all kinds of cool accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel when you become a member, such as outtakes, bloopers, says on what I do next, all that kind of cool stuff. All that amazing stuff, so definitely check that out. As always, people, a huge shout out to my new and old followers. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for becoming new subscribers. You guys are rocking it. As always, people, catch you in the next one.